In Alcoholics Anonymous, at a certain point, the sponsor introduces to the alcoholic introduces him to a syndrome which is called the king baby syndrome. The king baby syndrome is that an adult who is emotionally immature and has made themselves the center of attention for all their life. That's what the king baby is. You know, you just think about it in terms of a baby. A baby is naturally the center of all attention. And rightly so. That's part of developing a healthy ego as a child. But then maturity and growing and growth into maturity is about moving from being self-centered to being other-centered. That's what maturity is. Whereas a king baby, as it says itself, is someone who is stuck and the baby has become the king. And the baby rules from the high chair and is the one that is leading the adult. The gospel today flies in direct opposition to the king baby. Jesus says, love God with your whole heart, soul, mind, and strength. Put God first in your life and put yourself second. That there is something greater than ourselves. That is more important to put God first. To be a part of something greater. And in the process, experiencing salvation along the way. God is not a slave driver, but He does want salvation for all. And part of being something bigger than ourselves is about being willing to bring others along. To be a part of God is wanting salvation for everyone. We are a nation of king babies. King baby wants to be number one. Number one. Do you know a nation that wants to be number one? Yeah. And I think about it when it comes to the violence that we've been dealing with in our world. Isn't that violence about somebody trying to be the center of attention? Still trying to be that. And their violent act is their last gasp to being the center of attention. Isn't that what that is? Not accepting, not being other-centered in their life, being self-centered. I think we're raising a nation of king babies. Yeah. Aren't we? I cringe when I hear a parent says, I am going to spoil my child rotten. Are we going to raise them to move beyond being a king baby. You know, I talk to parents, and it's always somebody else's fault. It's always the parent's fault. It's always that other child. And that their child played no role in what happened. Really? In Alcoholics Anonymous, one of the steps is that you're to write a list of people who have hurt you. In Alcoholics Anonymous, one of the steps is to write down a list of people who've hurt you and to list how they hurt you. And then there's another column after that. How they hurt you, and then the next column is how did you play a role in that? Even when we're innocent, you know, are we still being a victim, playing the role of a victim of resentment? That only works so long. That's part of the king baby syndrome. We see Jesus, and Jesus, you know, He is willing to become the worst for us. He's willing to become sin so that we might experience salvation. That he counted himself among the criminals in his life. He was without blame, and yet he did not condemn. And in the process, he brought his opponents with him so that they could be saved too, so that they could experience salvation too, those people who hated him. He brought along those people so that everyone may experience salvation. He did what is called, I don't know if we hear in this world, it's hard to hear, what is called a win-win solution. He did things so that everybody could win. There's this caravan who's marching through Mexico and on their way to the United States. Are they evil incarnate? Or could they be Jesus knocking on the door? Could this be a win-win solution? Could there be a win-win solution for the situation? Or does it have to be a win-lose situation? It's going to be a win-lose situation. And you know what? In a win-lose situation, nobody really wins. You know? Our politics are all about win and lose. It's all about it. Jesus wasn't either or. He was radically conservative and radically liberal. He was radically for the poor. And in today's gospel, he was radically conservative. Love God with everything you've got. That will not pass away. How in our life may we be a part of the win-win solution in this world? How might we be a part where we bring along our opponent? That we don't look at somebody that we're against and we just see the devil. but we see in a way that we can bring them along. How can we be a part of that in our life? Or is it always about winning? Somebody's always got to lose when it's all about winning. You always have to be right. Or is there some way that we can both come along, that we can bring people, our opponent? Can we be about a win-win situation? Can we put ourselves aside and be other-centered in our life?